mindset shift, what specific changes do you hope to see in these young leaders?
Thank you for the question, and allow me to give a bit of context since I'm the first speaker. So today we are here with young leaders from across all the counties in Kenya, 40 of them. That is the president and the deputy president of the county students associations. I personally love working with this organized group because yes, we have university student leaders, but these are young people who are motivated and encouraged to support the work going on in their counties. So no matter which university or college or TVET they are in Kenya, they come together as people who are from one county. So now we are hosting the leadership from across all the counties. And the main thing we have been going through, and I want to say this is not a training that we've been having, but a conversation. And to answer the question about how we want to shift how we think as young people, firstly, it is that we don't want to be trained, we don't want to be told, we want to have a conversation. Let's get on one table. All of us have a seat at the table. We have the older generations, our older leaders, our more experienced leaders, our more mature leaders, and we have the young people who are the leaders of today and tomorrow. So we need to get on the table and have a conversation, all of us together, no one being above the other, but all of us sharing our experiences and our thoughts. So the reason we are having this mindset shift, according to me, is because of the 5 wives and 1 husband. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Who, the young people. What, the issues we face, the challenges. How, providing solutions. Where, within our country, Kenya, and across the whole continent of Africa. Why? Because we are interested in the young people who are coming after us having a better future than what we already have, and we are interested in shaping conversations that lead to practicality and results for all of us. Thank you.
This is for the director. Why is transformative leadership an essential skill for young leaders in Kenya today? I'll repeat. Why is transformative leadership an essential skill for young leaders in Kenya today?
Well, I think since we're in the spirit of refreshing, I think I would remove the word essential and use the word mandatory. I think what we're experiencing right now across the world is an intergenerational form of diversity that is happening. But really what we really want to do is to encourage young people to be able to come and learn those leadership skills, get the skills that they need to require to be able to take up the baton. Because we are the leaders, as our partner has mentioned, we're not just the leaders of tomorrow, but we're the leaders of today. Those opportunities for leadership are here today in our small areas, in our big areas, in the corporate space, in the government space, in the non-profit space, and even within our family setup. So I think it's something that is mandatory for young people to be able to develop and nurture those skills so that at least they can be able to arm themselves to be able to sustain those leadership roles and have the capacity to be able to sustain that journey as they continue to progress in that direction.
Okay, so to follow up to that, after this program today, after this graduation, what innovative approaches or critical thinking methods that have been introduced here do you expect to see transforming the landscape now?
So we'll have the leader of the training, the conversation rather, Mr. Jackson, to answer that.
Thank you so much.
You can repeat the question, sorry.
It's okay. Mr. Jackson, right?
Yes.
After this program, what innovative approaches or critical thinking methods that have been introduced here do you expect to see taking shape?
Thank you so much for the question. What this team has gone through has been an experiential learning process where every of the county represented had an opportunity to share their case scenarios by their counties. We are living in interesting times, a momentous time we have never experienced in this country, where over 65% of our population is actually the young people. But those who are in power positions of duty bearing are actually the opposite of their age. And therefore that already introduces a distinction that is, we can only bridge that gap, which is a generational gap between the young population who form the majority, but they're being led by the minority who are actually the wise people. So that already creates a transformational change. And from the experiences as the participants were sharing, they would bring it out. that all they're asking for, that they need space to be listened to. So one of the transformative action that we expect to take place as we live here is the inter-county dialogue spaces, where the young generations have a space to share out their mind. They are also questioning how policies are even conforming to their spaces. Many of the policies and duty bearers are actually occupying positions meant for the youth. And sometimes part of what we saw as experiences, they are not even represented. They were even now arguing out from the conversations that even where we say that the positions meant for the youth, they are represented, they are actually not fully engaged. So they were able to redefine, is actually participation being representation, and is representation being engagement. So some of those fundamentals entry points would form a basis for mindset change and completely create a new trajectory of our conversations as young people. So just among the others, I know also there are issues of being more strategic and aligning ourselves towards influencing policy right from the grassroots. What kind of conversations are you going to engage with our communities? What are the thematic agendas that are actually disturbing us, not just as a community, but as a country and as a global space? What are the challenges of the world? What is our role in trying to address these challenges? So quite a number has been covered, and we completely trust that this team are not just leaders, they are actually change makers. They are the game changers.
Yes.
Thank you.
Preferably the president or a youth leader could take this question. What has been the most valuable lesson you have learned from this leadership training process?
Thank you. I'm David Msongori. First and foremost, let me mention something about AXAP. I know there are a lot of misinformation and disinformation that prevail within our country and across the youth worldwide. So AXAP is a union body for all presidents from the 47 counties that we have specific universities and colleges students association in the counties. One of the reasons why we united ourselves mid last year, it was from the fact that we young people needed to have a space, a free space for ourselves, a free space that we have created for ourselves, because even in the training, we were able to understand that there are systems that do not favor us. So this AXAP is a system that favors young people and by the young people. So to your question, I feel one of the key things we learned from the 23 counties that are represented here is that we need to create more spaces for ourselves. We need to engage, participate, and represent ourselves if need comes. And what we are taking home from here is that where there is representation, there must be a question of engagement, and there must be a question of participation. So we are going home, going to answer the three questions. Are we represented? Are we engaged? And are we participating? I feel that, as we have said, we are change makers from here. We are going to change the game in the country.
Thank you. Any question from the team? Probably to Charleen. You've been really passionate when it comes to working with the youth. Of course, there are ups and downs working with the youth. What are the challenges so far that you've faced working with the youth?
Thank you. That's a very good question. I think when I started working with young people, I thought it would be easy because I'm a young person. But actually, even within the young people, we have our own generations. So I'm a millennial, and most of the young people with me today are Gen Zs. And thus, we look at life from very different lenses. And also, our backgrounds are different. People have different ways of connecting with society. So that difference has made it, sometimes we don't understand each other well, and different ways of working. So one thing I really love, for example, about Gen Zs is Gen Zs are very creative, brilliant, but I have to push them a lot when it comes to achieving the task. Getting a group like this that is progressive, that is forward-thinking, is not something easy to find in our country. Many young people are busy on their individual social medias, bashing, saying different things that are not very nice to different people. But if, as young people, we can stop looking at our nation, at our continent from an individual perspective and start thinking, what is our collective agreement? Let me pick something. For example, the Kenyan wristband that we all wear. We need to begin asking ourselves, why do we wear this wristband? It shows collective unity within our country. So that means as young people, it's not just about me. Yes, my name could be written on my wristband, but it's more about my country, patriotism, positiveness towards what we're doing as a nation. So those are some of the challenges in regards to working with young people, but also there are solutions such as AXAP. Thank you.
Somebody would ask now, what's the future goal when it comes to all of this?
First, an immediate future that we have. Actually, this training or these conversations we started having did not stem from me. It stemmed from these young people. They said, we have a platform here, we want you to support us. And for me as a youth champion, my work is to amplify the efforts of young people. So when they came to me and they had this idea, let's have conversations within ourselves first. As young people, I said, I will definitely support that. And this is the first cohort. There are 40 of them. And by March, we will have done 500 young people who will have gone through these conversations. And what I love is they're from the different counties across Kenya. So this information, this knowledge is not going to stay with them. It's going to be transferred, diffused throughout all our ethnic communities. So that is the near future that we see. But aside from that, what we are doing through AXAP Kenya is, since they are college, university, TVET students, we're not just keeping it there. We are going to mentor our younger brothers and sisters in high schools, in primary schools, taking development to them, taking the right message to them, because we don't want them to get to a point of, as David said, misinformation, malinformation, and disinformation. We want them to have, let me call it the right vibe, first of all, and the right knowledge and care for our nation and even for each other as young people.
Okay, maybe to one of you, how has it been working with Charleen?
Random person, not you.
Maybe someone else.
I volunteer to.
Gender balance. Huh?
Apparently, I've never interacted with Charleen. This is my first time, and I can say from the vibe, I think the vibe is giving, and maybe she seems to be a nice person. You know, as we go on, as we interact much more, because definitely we will. Trust me, you. I think I love this. This is all about positivity, yeah, and I like it.
Thank you, Fatma.
Okay. Done? Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your
Anything
time.
from the students, maybe you'd like to add,
Oh, yeah,
add on
sure.
to it? We okay?
Can I volunteer?
Fresh
Priscilla?
perspective.
Sounds like we- okay.
You want to say something?
This gender balance.
Okay, first of all, I will say that this is such a great idea. I'm very humbled and honored to know how much knowledge my fellow young people have. Actually, when I'm in Masai Mara University, I think I'm the wisest. But coming here, it was really a challenge. I learned a lot. Young people are doing such a good work, and I've joined them. So let's do this. Thank you.
Always wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yeah, maybe we can do our AXAP
Yeah.
tagline. How many of us know it?
We shall learn.
We shall learn together.
Uh-huh.
Diverse voices, common goals,
One
vision.
vision.
Yeah, so we do it again with power.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go.
Diverse voices, common goals, one vision.
Thank you so much.
So don't disperse, we want to take a quick photo.